Koutou, ko dia hau haramai, welcome to today's Makerspace. We're sending you off for a quick brain teaser as usual, and then we'll be back with some more experiments with liquids. See you again soon. Well, welcome back. The first thing we're going to do is to revisit something we looked at last session, and that is using some paper chromatography again. A little bit simpler this time, but this will be a really cool demonstration of that capillary action and the pigments that we can find in our black ink. So let's make a start. Okay, so for this paper chromatography experiment, we're going to need our paper towel. We're just going to cut a strip of that. Match that against our glass. We're going to attach it to the craft stick. I don't want it to be too long or too short. Just using some tape. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit of water and a paper towel. Just use our Crayola here, using the black because that ends up, as you remember from our last experiment with paper chromatography, how well the black worked. Okay, so hopefully we've made that the right size. So we'll dip that in the water. And wait for it to travel up the paper towel. So as you can see, there's the capillary action happening here through the paper. And as we also talked about the other day, the different colours have different pigments. And we saw the other day in the black that it looked quite purple, the one that we had. This one we can see shades of purple and pink, and also quite a bit of green in there as well. We might keep that going and see what it looks like a little bit later on. So here we are. This is a good look at our paper chromatography with our paper towel and using our black ink. You can see the colours are really quite pronounced in this one. We've got colours ranging from reddy, browny to green and almost yellow. See how you go with one of your black Crayolas, or try another colour and see how that goes. Good luck. So the next experiment we're going to do is called walking water. Some of you might have seen it before. It does take quite a bit of time to work, so hopefully we've allowed for that, and I'll be able to show you a result after at least an hour or two's time. And if not, we'll come back with that at the next session. Okay, for our next liquid experiment, we are going to be using 5 plastic cups here. They're 3 of them are half filled with water. We're going to add a little bit of food colouring to each. So I'm adding red to the first one. Blue to the middle one. And yellow to the last one. Now I'm going to roll up our paper towel, scrunch it a little bit, and in that goes to the first 2. let's see what happens over the next hour or so. Oh, we won't be waiting that long, of course, and we'll show you the result a bit later on. Okay, so our water has had some time to move, and you can see that through that capillary action, how it's moved through the paper towel, and the water is actually transferring into the cups that were empty. And you can also see that the colours are starting to mix. So the yellow and blue has become green, and the red and the blue is becoming a purpley colour. You have to wait some time, but it's totally worth it. Now, our next experiment involves atmospheric pressure. Again, we're going to be using water. We just need a glass and some corrugated cardboard. Might be one that you want to do over the sink, just in case. So we've filled our glass right to the very top, so it's almost overflowing. You can see a little bit of spillage here as well. We'll place our corrugated cardboard on the top. Just hold that down a little bit. Then I'm going to turn it over. And let it go. Wow. I'm not going to let it go for too long, just in case. Atmospheric pressure. So now, in our next experiment, we're going to have a look at the diffusion of concentrated liquids in water. Let's have a look a bit more closely. So you can see I have labelled my plastic cups here with cold, warm and hot. This is almost boiling water here. And I'm just going to hold up some white paper at the background so you can see a little bit more closely, and I'm going to put the same amount of food colouring in each of the solutions. So we've just got one drop in the cold, one drop in the warm and one drop in the hot. We'll see what happens. As you can probably see already, the food colouring is diffusing a lot quicker in the hotter. As you can already see, the food colouring is diffusing a lot quicker in the hot water than it is in the warm water and the cold water. And there are reasons for this, and we'll put them up on the screen now. Thanks for joining me for today's Makerspace. I hope you had some fun with those experiments with liquids. We'll see you next week. Ka kite.